Did you know that women reveal their feelings long before they ever find the words to say them out loud? Language is never just a tool for exchanging information. At its core, it is how human beings reach toward one another. And when a woman begins to develop genuine feelings for someone, the way she speaks starts to shift in ways that most people never stop to notice. Her words carry emotional fingerprints, subtle but consistent patterns that betray what her heart is doing even when her mind is still catching up. Behavioral psychology has long established that people unconsciously telegraph emotional attachment through the way they speak. Dr. John Gottman, one of the most respected researchers in the field of relationships, demonstrated through decades of study that the specific language people use with one another is one of the most reliable indicators of emotional investment. With women especially, word choice tends to surface true feelings well before any direct admission ever comes. So if you have been asking yourself whether someone is beginning to feel something more, the answer is almost always already there, hidden in plain sight, inside the conversations you are already having. By the time you finish reading this, you will know exactly what to listen for, including the single most telling phrase of all, which is coming at the very end. The first thing to pay attention to is when she says something along the lines of feeling like she has known you for a much longer time than she actually has. This is not filler conversation. When a woman expresses that kind of instant familiarity, she is communicating that something between you feels effortless and instinctively right. Psychologists have found that women tend to build emotional attachments relatively quickly once they feel genuinely understood by someone. Dr. Gottman's research points directly to emotional safety as one of the primary engines of attraction. The moment a woman begins to feel secure around you, she starts linking you to comfort, trust, and warmth, and those are exactly the conditions under which romantic feelings take root. When she has only known you for a matter of weeks, but looks at you and admits that it feels like far longer, she is not handing you a casual compliment. She is telling you, without quite realizing it, that you have already become meaningful to her. The right response here is not to deflect or laugh it off. Lean into it gently. You could tease her with something like asking whether she thinks you might have crossed paths in a previous life, or you could simply mirror the feeling back and tell her you feel exactly the same way. Either way, the goal is to honor the emotional moment without making it heavier than it needs to be. The second phrase to watch for is when she refers to you as one of her closest friends, even though you have not known each other for very long. Before you misread that as rejection, consider what it actually means. When a woman assigns that kind of relational closeness to someone she has only recently met, she is signaling a level of trust that she does not extend freely. It is not a wall going up. It is a door opening. Women are psychologically wired to prioritize emotional security before they allow physical attraction to fully develop. If she is opening up to you about personal things, sharing stories she does not tell most people, or leaning on you with thoughts she would normally keep private, she is not friend-zoning you. She is emotionally investing in you, which is the step that comes before everything else. A strong response in that moment is to acknowledge it without flinching and to quietly reframe it. Saying something like how much you value that and how you believe the best relationships are always built on a foundation that looks a lot like friendship plants a seed without any pressure. It moves the conversation naturally towards something deeper while keeping the atmosphere relaxed. Third, when she tells you that you are different from other men she has encountered, take that seriously. In the landscape of attraction, standing apart is everything. Women are constantly, if often unconsciously, assessing the men around them, not out of coldness, but out of a deeply human instinct to identify who is genuinely worth their emotional energy. When she places you in a category of your own, she is telling you that you have cleared a bar that others have not. Psychologists describe this through the concept of selective perception, which is the tendency for emotional attachment to reshape the way we see a person, elevating them above the general crowd in our minds. When she says you actually listen, or that there is something about you she cannot quite find in other people. What she is really expressing is that you are worth paying. Rather than simply accepting the compliment and moving on, draw her out a little. Ask her in a tone that is light and genuinely curious what exactly she thinks makes you different. When she starts putting that into words, she is not just answering a question. She is articulating her own attraction to herself, and that articulation only reinforces it. The fourth phrase is one of the most meaningful of all, and it tends to slip by unnoticed. When she tells you that she can be herself around you, she is handing you something rare. Most people move through their daily lives presenting a version of themselves that they believe will be accepted or approved of. Dropping that performance around someone requires a level of trust that does not come easily. Psychologists refer to this as authenticity bonding, which is the deep human need to connect with someone who allows you to exist without a filter. When a woman begins acting genuinely silly around you, admitting things that embarrass her, or showing you the sides of herself she usually keeps hidden, and then tells you she has no idea why she feels so comfortable doing it, that is one of the clearest signals available. Your response should match that energy. Let her know that kind of openness is the best thing she could offer you, and if she is being playful, be playful back. Encourage the real version of her. Once a woman feels that she can be fully herself with someone and that it is welcomed rather than judged, she rarely wants to give that up. Fifth, when she tells you that you make her feel seen and heard, do not let the simplicity of those words fool you. What she is describing is something that women often spend years looking for and frequently never find. Women do not simply want someone to sit quietly while they speak. They want to feel that their inner world, their experiences, their feelings, and their perspectives actually matter to the person across from them. Research in psychology consistently identifies emotional validation as one of the most powerful contributors to long-term attraction. Feeling truly heard creates a sense of safety and value that is genuinely difficult to walk away from. In practice, this might look like a moment where you bring up something small she mentioned weeks ago, a detail about her childhood or something she dreams about for her future. And she realizes you were not just waiting for your turn to talk, you were actually listening. That realization changes the way she sees you. Respond by telling her that understanding someone fully is one of the things that matters most to you in any meaningful relationship. That kind of answer tells her that what she's experiencing with you is not a coincidence. It is who you are. Sixth, when she says she feels a deep connection with you, pay very close attention to the weight she's placing on the word deep. She's not talking about surface chemistry or a shared sense of humor. She's pointing to something underneath all of that, something that feels rare enough to name. People do not describe a connection as deep unless it genuinely feels that way to them. What she's telling you is that you reach her at a level that most people do not. Psychologists call this emotional resonance, the experience of two people feeling fundamentally in sync with one another in a way that is hard to explain but impossible to ignore. You will notice the signs building before she ever says it out loud. She will start bringing up more significant topics, things about her past, her fears, her hopes. She will reference conversations you have had and tell you how much they stayed with her. She will begin to associate spending time with you with a sense of emotional fullness. When she finally puts it into words, do not minimize it. Reflect it back. Tell her that kind of connection is rare and that you feel it too. That confirmation makes her feel safe inside her own emotions. And that safety is what allows feelings to deepen rather than stall. Seventh, when she tells you she can talk to you about anything, it might sound similar to what came before, but the distinction matters. Feeling a deep connection is about an emotional bond. Feeling like she can talk to you about anything is about emotional compatibility, the kind that sustains attraction over the long run rather than just sparking it. Think about how many people you genuinely trust with your full, unguarded self. That number is almost always small. If she's telling you that you are one of those people for her, you have become a safe space in her life. You will notice it in the texture of how she communicates with you. She reaches out randomly about something that has nothing to do with anything important. She asks what you think about a decision she is weighing. She shares something difficult without building up to it or apologizing for it. All of that points to a woman who feels emotionally nourished by her connection to you. Keep that door open by letting her know that no topic is too strange or too heavy, and by quietly reinforcing that openness is the foundation every real relationship is built on. And then there is the bonus signal, the one that removes almost all ambiguity. When she tells you she misses you, even though the two of you have not been apart for very long, something significant has shifted. Missing someone is not a casual emotion. It means that person has worked their way into the rhythm of your thoughts and your day. When a woman admits to missing you after only a few hours or a single morning, she is telling you that your presence has become something she actively notices the absence of. Psychologists explain this through the lens of emotional attachment, which develops when someone consistently associates another person with happiness, comfort, and a feeling of aliveness. As feelings grow, so does the awareness of when that person is not there. Picture this. You spend an evening together, and the following morning she sends you a message out of nowhere saying she misses you. She is not performing. She is telling you exactly where you stand in her emotional world. Keep your response warm and uncomplicated. Tell her you miss her too. That simple confirmation deepens the bond. And once an emotional attachment like that takes hold, it tends only to grow stronger over time. If any of this resonated with something you have lived through, drop a comment and share what you noticed. And if this gave someone you know a new way to understand what they are experiencing, pass it along. Sometimes the right perspective at the right moment makes all the difference.